I am asking such a strange question? You'd be surprised. Because many people, let me give you some reality bites. Because you know that, okay, note. Right. That. Okay. What's your color? What's the color? White. Great. So, the UPSC Civil Service Mains. Let me give you some reality bites here. What happens in general? What I've observed is there is uncontrollable hype concerned with the. Do you agree? There's a hype created for civil service examination, which is more than what is necessary. Don't you think so? Just like movies, expectations. Yes? Expectations versus, you know that. What is that? You know that. Now, that is why 99% of the people get disappointed because of the result. And you should be, what is that? Prepared. Before you start your preparation, you should be prepared to accept what? This or this. This or this. Be prepared. You understand this? Now, why I am saying this is to avoid disappointment, discouragement, and eventual depression. And you will develop a phenomena which is popular in anthropology called as what? You must have heard about this. Disillusioned youth. India is suffering from two phenomena. Number one, if it is demographic dividend, the another perspective of this is disillusioned youth. What is disillusioned youth? When you ask an average youngster in India about how the government or governance works, they say government is corrupt. How you ask youth in India how judiciary works, they say judiciary is corrupt. When you ask about politicians or political parties, they say all political parties are same. They work for their own benefit, not for the benefit of people. So all politicians are corrupt. Favoritism, bias. Don't you think so? Now this mindset, school of thought is called as what? Disillusionment. What is illusion? You should know what is normal before you understand what is abnormal. This is what I've learned in my medical science. If you want to know what is abnormal, what you should know? What is normal? For whatever is a deviation from normal can be called as abnormal. Without knowing what is normal, you cannot understand what is abnormal. Will you understand this? This is what I have learned in my first year of medical science. I am Dr. Vinay. I deal with multiplicity of subjects in civil service general studies, which is like science and technology, environment studies, disaster management, social issues, internal security, ethics, and likewise. And I also deal with the optional subject, anthropology. I've been to UPSC civil service interview process once and multiple, that is the Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka State Public Service Commission interview processes. I've got roughly 9 plus, that is 10 plus years of experience in teaching, and I'm not an intentional teacher, I'm an accidental teacher. In 2004, I met with an accident. You don't have to be so serious. That was an intellectual accident. You understand this? I never wanted to become one. I never had an idea to become one. When in 2010-11 we attended for a civil service interview, and then after that 2013 APPSC group for an interview. After that we were like jobless. And few of our seniors, they said, why can't you share your experience with juniors like you? I said, I don't have an experience. I never taught anyone. I don't have any plans. They said, give it a try. If students like it, then it's good for you. good for students also. And then that senior forced me, I still remember that today, forced me to take class and teach people. And you know what? Some students liked it. Since then, I've been here opposing you. Opposing you. Do you understand this? Don't you think so? We are opposite each other. Opposite. This is what happens. It's all about what? What you want and what UPSC wants are always opposite. Or what you prepare and what UPSC expects from you are always opposite. Don't you think so? What you think is right and what UPSC thinks is right are always opposite. Don't you think so? Life is all about what? Perspectives. So is anthropology. It's all about perspectives. Perspectives of whom? Of different, what is that? Scholars. That's it. About what? About you. About people like you around. About our past and our present. So, it's all about scholars and their perspectives. Can we say that a link up between scholars and their perspectives is anthropology? Yes, definitely yes. Yes. So what are we trying to understand here is, what is illusion? What is illusion here? Which is not true. That means unreal, is it? Is it? Unreal or altered perception of reality? Both are not same. Do you think unreal and altered perception of reality are same? What is illusion then? This is snake. What is that? This is snake. What is that phenomena called as? Okay. You have something. That means it is not unreal. It is real. But you will assume this differently. Somebody else would assume this differently. Now, whose problem it is? Wire's problem or your problem? Okay. So it is real. So, you get it? So, altered perception. Can we call it as subjectivity? Don't get surprised. Hey, what is that? Are we in a wrong class or something? Okay, that would be the next question if I am sitting in your position. Hey, sorry, wrong class. I would leave. Yes. So, subjectivity is individual variation in perception of reality. Anthropology is all about understanding what? Variations in subjectivity. Why some people would assume that red color is just a color, red is danger, red is deadly, red is stop, and red is divine, and red can be a bad omen. What is omen? Bad luck. Yes or no? Red is red. Or different people assume it differently? Forget about it. Welcome to Hyderabad. Lemon chili combo on crossroads? Yeah? Lemon. You know lemon? Thank you. Chili, green chili. Both are combined and tied with a thread and thrown in the crossroad. You can you imagine? It is lemon chili, vegetables. But do you think it is just a vegetable combo? It is something more than that? And different people perceive it differently. Some people will not step on it. They'll go around it. Some people do this. Some people would avoid the road itself. Yes or no? Likewise, you are going to interview, full ready, full makeup, full prepared interview process, UPSC. You stepped out of your home, somebody, Hachi! That was just a sneeze. But for you, for your grandma, for your dad, for your neighbors who is always interested in you more than yourself, it is different. Yes or no? Black cat crossing your path. Now, we call this as what? Culture. Culture. Way of life. How you look at things and what you perceive out of them is culture. Don't you think so? See, that is how we study, yeah? And illusion is what? Altered perception and disillusioned youth. This is the other perspective of the demographic dividend. This is also decreasing the intellectual wealth of India and causing a neo-drain of wealth phenomenon. Many intellectual youngsters are leaving India, assuming that India doesn't encourage startups, India is corrupt, India doesn't give value to talent. You understand this? Yes? India is not the place for deserving candidates. Yes? You don't have to follow formalities, just carry on. Yes. Okay. So we have some basic stuff here. Getting back. Okay. Where do you have it? Okay. Great. Yes. So we are talking about certain kind of phenomena which are in the form of what? The civil service mains examination. Why I'm asking about all these things is that there is certain amount of hype. There is certain amount of over or supra-optimal, what is that? Glorification of civil services. Don't you think so? That if you crack this exam, you are great, otherwise you are waste. Don't you think so? You have such an assumption. Yes? Over glorification, hype. If you crack this exam, you'll become overnight celebrity. Otherwise, nobody would bother about you. You're considered as equivalent to dead. And there is certain amount of perception among people in India that if you are a civil servant, only then you're a successful person. Otherwise, you're not. Yes or no? Yes or no? No. No? Why are you here? What is the purpose of your presence here? Because you are a subscriber to such assumptions. You are a follower of such assumptions. And you wanted to become a beneficiary of such assumptions. Yes or no? You can ask me, what's wrong in it? That's the next question. Yeah, you are. Yes, we are like this. What's wrong in it? Ask me. Yes, of course. That should be your next question. Who is judging you? Nobody is judging you here. Don't worry about it. There is nothing called as right. There is nothing called as wrong. Absoluteness doesn't exist in the universe. Everything is a product of comparison. You cannot define yourself in the absence of others. Can you? You cannot define anything. For example, you cannot define this in the absence of this or this. You cannot say whether you are intelligent or not if you don't have idiots around. Yes or no? You cannot say you are beautiful if you don't have ugly people around. Day doesn't have the kind of value if there is no night. And darkness doesn't have any significance in the absence of light. You cannot define anything in the absence of others. So, relativity, relative nature. There is nothing called as absolute. Similarly, there is nothing called as perfection. Perfection is a product of imagination. Please understand this. Perfection exists only in your thoughts, nowhere else in reality. There is nothing called as a perfect person, perfect place, perfect time, and perfect answer. Perfection is a product of assumption and is a product of your thought process. As thoughts change, definition of perfection changes. And what is perfect to you may not be perfect to other person sitting next to you. So do not run behind assumptions. Do not fall prey to hypes. Be realistic. Know what you are, what you want, why you want. Have your own individual reason. Not that, okay, they wanted me to become civil servant, hence I am becoming. That doesn't work. It is my parents' dream, hence I want. Let them become. Mind your business. My neighbors wanted me to be an IPS officer. Let them become. Your business is different. Say that I want to become. Okay, excellent. Welcome. Welcome to the class. Somebody else became, hence I want to become. Sorry. Your life doesn't work in that way. Don't try to live somebody else's life. Don't try to live your life for somebody else. It's yours. You live according to your rules, your choices, your likes and dislikes. Keep you first in your life. You understand this? So, please remember, here why am I speaking like this is, there is a fundamental concept building in anthropology which starts from something called as what? Menti-fact. What is menti-fact here? Which is a philosophical way of looking at everything in the world, thinking that everything in the world is a product of thought first. Don't you think this was a thought of somebody a few years ago? This board was thought of somebody a few years ago. You were a thought of somebody a few years ago, of your parents. They thought to have children, and then, ta-da, you came. Yes or no? Look at that. And we call this phenomena as menti-fact. Are you mental? No. Are you mental? No, not at all. What are you talking? Are you mental? Yes. Hey, somebody is mental here. You? Not mental. Not mental. I am mental. Are you mental? Oh, what is mental here? Ability to think. Ability to have thoughts is mental. Are you mental? No. Are you mental? Oh, look at that. Yes is not always yes. No is not always no. Yes can become no. No can become yes. In a moment's time. Yes or no. Are you mental? Are you mental? Is the question clear? You're not mental. You need one more discussion about what is being mental. Yes. See, not everyone is same. Do you think you have brains? Now people are thinking, man, what to answer this fellow? Kind of. Do you think you have brains? How many brains you have? Only one brain? And where are the other things missing? How many brains you have, gentlemen? Only one? How many brains you have? You sure only one? Where are the rest of the things? You donated or what? How many brains you have? Two? Only two? That poor people you are. Indians. India is a rich country with poor people. How many brains you have? Zero. Go. She donated all brains to others. Such a donor, philanthropist. We appreciate your kind heart. Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, innovative brain some people have. How many brains you have? Minimum? Minimum? Okay. You got it? Okay. Simple. What is the function of brain? Yeah? That's all. Thoughts. Okay. Actions. Excellent. Okay. Actions. Dancing. Your brain acts. Yeah? Thinking. Yeah. Thinking. Respond. Excellent. Yes. Stimulus response relationship. Yes. Yes. We have a word for all these things. Cognition. See, you cannot use normal language in the exam. You have to use some specific vocabulary. Try to build it. It's okay. Subject specific. Yes. Cognition, which includes all those thinking, all those things here. Yes. Emotions and decisions and judgments and comparisons and assumptions and beliefs. Yes. Illusions and all those elements here. Yes. Thoughts. Ability of the brain to have thoughts is called as what? We are coming to you. Now, ability of having brain, having thoughts is, are you mental? Look at that. Now you got it. Are you mental? Are you? Okay, now you got it. Simple. So, everything begins as a thought. Everything in the universe. India was a thought of someone in the past. Tools were the thoughts of someone in the past. Weapons were thoughts of someone in the past. Clothing was thought of someone in the past. Food was the thought of someone in the past. Biryani was somebody's thought earlier. Don't you think so? Everything is, which has been modified by humans, was a thought first. Hence, we call it as what? Mentifact. Next. So, we study about mentifacts. We study about thoughts. The thoughts of some people only. And we call them as thinkers. But you have to understand this. Thinkers and their thoughts. We call them as schools of thought. Chapter number 6 of paper 1. We have to talk about 25 different scholars and their 11 schools of thought according to our syllabus. How many of you are carrying the syllabus copy right now? That shows your preparedness and commitment to this subject and to this exam. How many of you are carrying syllabus copy of UPSC Civil Service optional paper Anthropology right now? Raise your right index finger. None? That's a surprise. Are you here by accident? Are you here by intention? Were you aware of what's going to happen today in this class? Or you just dropped in randomly that you had nothing else better than this to do in your life? Syllabus copy is the most important document one aspirant must carry who is preparing for civil service exam. Any exam for that matter. That's the first document you should carry. Don't feel shy to become student again. The first prerequisite for you to become a civil servant is humbleness, simplicity. You understand this? And of course, an amount of self-confidence and a positive attitude. But first things first, obedience, humbleness, simplicity, openness to learning. These are basic things. When you went to school, you were humble, isn't it? In school, remember? As a child, you went to school, you were so humble, yes or no? It was natural. We're just looking for that here. Be very diligent. You have to become a student again. Because it's all about learning. Don't feel shy to be humble, to be diligent, to be obedient, to be simple. They'll give you sweetest of benefits. Are you able to understand this? Yes. Getting back here, everything starts as a mentee fact. So don't feel shy to say that you are mental if somebody asks you. Yes or no? If somebody is not mental, take them to hospital. They need some treatment. Yes or no? Look at that. Few minutes ago you said you were not. Now you are prepared to send somebody to hospital, whoever is not mental. You are half doctors. Congratulations. Yes. Second is what? Something called as, we talk a lot in anthropology, called as what? Socio-fact. What is socio-fact? It comes from a term called as what? Socius. Socius means what? Company. Company. You want company for everything, isn't it? You want to go for a walk, you want some company. You want to go for a movie, you want some company. You want to go and drink something in the bar or restaurant, you want company. You want to play a game, you want company. You want to spend some good time, you want company. And some people are so serious, they want company for the rest of their lives. They get married. Yes or no? Yes. Company matters. Yes? When you have a group of people around you and you share positive and meaningful relationship with them, you establish society. It is not just group of people who form a society, but group of people with meaningful, purposeful relationships, regular interactions, mutual support and solidarity. They form a society, not just any group. For example, you see 30-40 people traveling or commuting by bus. They don't contribute. They don't constitute a society. 100 people, commuting by an aircraft. They don't constitute a society. Say 500 people commuting by train. They don't constitute a society. So you know what is society now. Society also includes something called as what? Communication. Meaningful, purposeful, beneficial, supportive. Communication. Communication requires two elements here. What are they? Verbal communication called as spoken language. Second is gestures, body movements, expressions, which form non-verbal communication. All in all, they constitute something called as what? Language. Language comes from a term called as lingua. Lingua means what? Lingua. What is lingua? Tongue. You have to understand this. Can you talk without your tongue? You don't know. Do you know? You don't. You don't know what is hunger unless you are hungry by yourself. You don't know what is pain unless you experience similar type of pain. You don't know what is poverty if you have never been poor. You don't know what is not having language because you all have tongues. Yes or no? Next time you see someone who is hungry or suffering from pain, don't say, I understand. Because you don't understand. You cannot understand, can you? Empathy has got a different perspective. Not just saying, I understand. You don't. You can understand this. Getting back here? Yes. So, when you express your thoughts, expression of thoughts is called as what? Socio-fact. Expression of thoughts in any form, gestural form or any body movement form, sound form or a language form, written form, spoken form, any expression of thought, so that others would come to know what your thoughts are. Such a phenomena is a second step concerned with the human life called as what? Socio-fact. So everything starts as a menti-fact, transforms into a socio-fact and ultimately culminates into something called as what? Artifact. What is artifact here? Giving name, shape and form to mentifacts and socio-facts. When mentifacts and socio-facts are given a name, shape and form and objectified, they are called as what? Artifacts. This is an artifact. You are an artifact. This bottle is an artifact. This room, this structure is an artifact. Hyderabad as a city is. India as a country. Artifact. Object. Physical. Tangible. Observable. Quantifiable. Notatiable. Measurable. You understand this? And this process on a microscopic scale is called as the materialization of thoughts on a micro scale. On a macro scale, this process is called as institutionalization. And we largely study about materials and institutions in your socio-cultural anthropology. Are you understand this? and understanding the relationship between mentifact, sociofact and artifact, because it varies from one society to another society across the globe. Understanding the meaning and relationship between mentifacts, sociofacts and artifacts is called as what? Culture. We study about these things in socio-cultural anthropology. This is a fundamental concept in understanding our discussion today. And let me talk about one. Where is the PPT yesterday we had? Okay. Great. Where am I? Are we here? Great. Okay. Can you visualize this? Yes? We are looking at syllabus because you are not carrying it. We divide the syllabus of both papers for your convenience into 4 parts. We call them as 4 modules. There are no such differentiations in the question paper, by the way. But paper 1 is paper 1. Paper 2 is paper 2. There are no module-wise differentiations in the exam. But here, for your convenience, we are dividing the syllabus into various chapters or modules. When you observe this syllabus, you would come across approximately 54 chapters. In all, for both papers, 54 chapters you have across paper 1 and paper 2. So, our goal is to discuss these 54 chapters. And these 54 chapters are not organized in a chronological or orderly fashion in your syllabus copy of UPSC. They don't follow in order. So, our job is to connect them appropriately. Yes? So, for our convenience, remember, for our convenience, we divide this syllabus into few modules. And few modules are parts here. And, okay. Great. So, part 1 of paper 1 includes what? The basic elements here. What are they? Conventional, definition, meaning, scope, development of anthropology across the globe, and branches of anthropology, and the relationship between anthropology and other disciplines. Before we embark on this journey, are we aware of what exactly is anthropology, by the way? Are we aware of it? What is anthropology? I am assuming and presuming that you have taken the decision to take up this optional subject, anthropology. Am I correct? Hello, good morning. I'm a human being. I'm not an alien. And I hope so, same with you also. We also belong to the same species. What is your species? Do you know what is your species? Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens. That is your name. Yes. The name in your Aadhaar card is a drama. Yes. For other temporary purposes, you have a name. But this is your identity. You understand this? Because this indicates that you all are same. You understand this? You have great deal of similarity. How much? This much. So differences are so minimal. Yet, we have so many problems between each other. So with decimal variation, you have so many problems. Imagine if the variations were big. You understand this? Getting back here, Homo is the name of the genus. Sapiens is the name of the species. Sapiens is the name of subspecies. We'll talk about all these things. Everything, every word we speak will be well within the confines of your syllabus. We don't talk out of syllabus, usually, normally. Well, it depends on multiple factors as well here. Getting back. So we are assuming and presuming that you know what your optional subject is for this exam. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you decided about your optional? Not yet? Or is this your first class in your life? Well, kind of in civil service exam preparation. Is this your first class? No. For optional, this is first class. You are acquainted with general studies subjects? Yes, please. Feel free to talk if you can talk. Are you acquainted with, did you attend any general studies classes? You did? Okay, you started your preparation from long time ago. Like few days ago you started? Okay, not a problem. So, you're yet to decide or determine your option subject, is it? Yet to. Oh, we went a long way. Then you should have this. The steps to be taken or the things to be considered before you choose an optional, or on what basis you should choose your optional. Well, you must be familiar with all these things here. What is number one or the first step in choosing your optional here? Try to have an idea whether this overlaps with your educational background or not. Because you must have spent considerable amount of time in studying that subject in your 11th and 12th or undergraduation or post-graduation or post-doctoral fellowship programs. So that knowledge, that investment would help you. If not, you can choose an optional based on purely how interesting the subject is, because you have to stay with this subject for the next 2 to 3 years without losing any enthusiasm or focus. It is like a committed relationship. You have to have very loyal, unconditional relationship, and you should never get angry on it. You should forgive it, though it has got some flaws. Unconditional relationship is very difficult to maintain. If you are really loyal and committed, only then choose that. Whenever you read or go through that subject, you should never feel bored or monotonous. At any given point in time, you pick up any book to read about any topic in that subject, it should be equally interesting to you. You should never get irritated because of the subject. That subject must always inspire you and give you confidence. Such an interest, if any option subject generates inside you, probably that is your option. Because you have to stick with it for the next 2 to 3 years or till you get into service. So based on interest, you can choose your optional without any doubt. Next, we always say, what is that here? Whichever optional subject which has got adequate amount of materials and mentorship. So you have your favorite optional, but the mentor is not very good or material is inadequate. That will not help you. But you have an optional which you may not like much, but you have a good mentor and good material support, probably you should select it. Please remember, your optional subject is only till the exam. Once you get through this exam, you got nothing to do with the optional subject. Your life is completely different once you get recommended to service, and your job is a different job. So, material and mentorship support. Whichever optional has got good material and mentorship support, you can choose that optional. You understand this? Next is what? The recent trends. Let me give you some reality bites. Not all optionals are equally scoring. Yes, please. Yes, there is. When we were preparing history, geography, public administration were trending. I am talking about between 2009 and 2014. We were preparing. Between 2009 and 14, these were the trending options. Geography, public administration, history. People were crazy. And overlapping 2013-14 onwards, political science, public administration, sociology and psychology, they picked up pace. I don't know, suddenly. From 2016-17 onwards, anthropology, sociology, PSIR, they picked up the pace. And still the pace is high. Psychology was trending for about, say, 10 years, between 1998 and 2008. For 10 years, psychology ruled. Philosophy also ruled. 1998 and 2008, philosophy and psychology were trending optionals. Many selections were based on these two optionals. Now, can we say that there were trends? Yes or no? You got it? Now you ask any person who is not preparing for civil services, hey, what is the most popular optional in India for civil service exam? What is the answer? That's over. What does that indicate? There is a trend. Whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you are aware about it or not, there exists a trend, a logic, a calculation, a wave which is happening. Not all optionals are equally scoring. For some optionals, scoring 200, between 200 and 250 is decent. For some other optionals, scoring between 250 to 300 is decent. And for some other optionals, scoring 300 to 350 is also possible. And anthropology is one such optional whose scores have been consistently above 300. How can you calculate the average scores of any subject? How can you calculate it? Take any 1 year results. Pick the candidates who have reached interview stage and combine all those people's marks and divide it by number of candidates. You'll get average marks. When you do this for multiple optionals, you would see that anthropology on top, scoring consistently above 300. The goal is to get what? What is your goal? That's it. That's it. How does it matter which option you choose? Does it matter to anyone? What matters is not what your optional is, but how many marks you can get through that optional. That's what matters. Ultimately, overall number of marks will determine your rank, not your optional. Marks will be counted irrespective of your optional. Then choose that optional, whichever gives you more marks. That's simple common sense. Yes or no? And choose that optional which has been performing consistently above 300 marks. Anthropology stands number one in that, without any doubt. Because it will give you marks. And you want marks. You are here for marks. For nothing else. You're not here to build ships. What kind of ships? Relationships. If you want to build ships, go to matrimonials. Not anthropology class. Am I clear? Yes. Do we have such thing? Okay. Everything depends on marks. So for the past, you say 6 or 7 years, you can, the numbers and the names and marks are visible. You can easily observe this without any doubt. Okay, let's not take any favor of any one particular subject at this stage, because we are still choosing an optional stage. We have not yet completely finalized our optional. Okay, so we are here. Recent trend, whichever optional it is, choose. Oh, you can understand this? Yes. Not all options have equal scoring capacity. Scores are not same. Yes. And not all options are scoring in nature. So different options, different scores. Maximum scores. For example, this depends on what? Subjectivity. Subjectivity means what? The ratio between static and dynamic aspects. That means how much of the subject, how much percentage of the subject syllabus is dynamic. That means changes from year to year. That is subjectivity. More dynamism, more subjectivity. More static, less subjectivity. Less dynamic, that is less subjective, more static is a better optional. So, though there is the same question, if answer need to be different, that is high degree of subjectivity, high dynamism. That means the likelihood of you scoring more marks is lesser. If subjectivity is lesser, though same question, answer need not be different. That means static nature of the subject is more. Subjectivity is lesser. Hence, your ability to score more is greater. Choose that optional whose subjectivity is lesser and is less dynamic in nature. You understand this? Subjectivity. The fifth parameter is what? Subjectivity. Sixth parameter based on which you have to choose your optional. In general. Yes. The scope of course we know that overlap with general studies. The optional and general studies must have considerable amount of overlapping, so that optional would add value to general studies preparation and general studies preparation would add value to optional preparation. Both would become mutually complementary and you will have a double advantage. It can be applied to any optional whichever has got a decent amount of overlap. What is decent amount of overlap? At least 25%. For example, take optional. If 25% or 1/4 of the syllabus overlaps with general studies syllabus, that optional is a very good option for you. Do not choose an optional whose optional syllabus overlaps with general studies for less than 25%. You understand this? So, optional subject syllabus must overlap with general studies syllabus to an extent of at least 25%. For example, you have 50 chapters in optional. What is 25% of 50 chapters? 12.5 chapters. Look for that optional wherein out of 50 chapters in the optional, at least 12 chapters have common overlapping with general studies. Choose that as your option because you'll have double advantage. You understand this? Minimum 25%. So you have this. And then seventh, of course, we have multiple factors to choose an optional from in general. So syllabus extent. You know that more number of revisions, more mock tests means more advantage. It's pretty simple logic. You don't have to have anybody else to tell you about this. Less amount of syllabus. That means you should be able to revise it faster, quicker, in short duration of time, and you should be able to write as many mock tests as possible within shorter duration of time. So invest less time and harvest more benefit. In this equation, the quantity of syllabus matters. Some options have infinite quantity of syllabus. Let me not name them. You know about them. Like vast variety of books and multiple sources and anything and everything under the sun will be the syllabus. No, that kind of subject will be very difficult to concise and revise in shorter duration of time, or at least attempt all the mock tests available. So do not choose such kind of options. So syllabus is very vast and wide. Be very calculative. Be very choosy. Select that option whose syllabus is less or moderate, not huge or vast. For that, you have to visit the UPSC's website and have a look at this syllabus, number of chapters, number of topics. You understand this? Comparison, you will come to know. Yes. So you have this syllabus. Less is more. You understand this? Less is more. I did not do anything. Yes? Not always more is more. Less is more. Try to have that need-based approach towards optional rather than greed-based. Greed is not always beneficial. You have to understand this? Yes. So we have a few factors to consider before you choose any optional. Then we have something called as what? Okay. Great. Why anthropology? If at all you want me to justify, if you ask me a question. Now you say, yes, we spoke of other things. Then why are you here? If you ask me that question. I have few submissions. What are they? I take the side of anthropology. You get it? So, why anthropology? Why should you choose? Why should anyone choose? Myths. Reality. It's a kind of what? Icebreaker. You understand this? So, what is that here? Syllabus. 54 chapters. You have very less number of optionals in UPSC Civil Service Mains whose syllabus is lesser than 54 chapters. Very less number of optionals. Now, when even our seniors were preparing, we used to have an optional called as Pali literature. Pali. Now they removed it. You know, entire syllabus, entire material, 71 pages only. Entire material. Less amount of syllabus. Least. Few chapters. You can easily revise 71 pages in one day. And people who would evaluate your answer sheets also would be people who are scholars in Pali. So Pali literature, soft corner, Pali selection. Yes or no? Naturally, many people started choosing Pali literature and they got recommended to service. And UPSC observed this. Hey, something is wrong is happening. What is this? Remove Pali. Removed. Probably in the future also, the language literatures also be removed. Because the literatures have least amount of subjectivity. That means literatures are static. There is no current affairs in literature, sorry. So, the question remains same, answer also remains same. For the past 20-30 years, answers are same for the questions. Least amount of subjectivity. Most static optionals are literature optionals. This is a bias, isn't it? Hence, UPSC may. Don't take my name anywhere. That person told language literature option will be removed, hence we are not. No. It all depends on who you are, what you think. Oh, you understand this? For example, if all of you have been supplied with same pen, do you think all of you will get same number of marks? That's it. That's over. If I give you same brand camera to all of you, would all of you become photographers? Sorry. Same question paper is given. Answers will differ. It's not what it is, but who you are that matters. Or what you make out of it, which matters. Many people go to ocean. Not all people come back with same stuff. Some people come with only wet body, wet clothes. Some people come out with fish. Some people come out with pearls. Some come out with treasure. Some don't come out. You know that, right? Some will not come out at all. Ocean is same. Then what matters is who you are. What it is to you depends on who you are and what you make out of it, not what it is. You understand this? Yes. The last year, 2000, I think 2015, that's the last time when literature-related optionals got decent marks and ranks. After 2015, you never had any person topping this exam with literature optional. Very rare. Very rare. For the past 7 years, literature is not performing very well. You observe this trend. I'm not saying this. Go for a result. Observe the result. UPSC probably is deliberately discouraging. You don't know. You understand this? Humanities, they're trending more. Could you understand this? So that's how it is. So getting back here, less or more. 54 chapters is not less when compared with some optionals. But 54 chapters is not more when compared with some other optionals. We have to understand this. So it is moderate. I feel that it is a balanced, not less, not more. Optimum, a balanced approach. That is why non-humanities background students, like technical background students, like engineers or some doctors, rarely, they are choosing anthropology and performing very decently in this. When you observe, many engineers are performing very well after choosing this optional. That's a surprise, isn't it? Engineering subjects have no relationship with anthropology, either directly or indirectly. But how come engineers are scoring and performing so decently by choosing this optional? If engineers can do better with this optional, anybody else can do better with this optional. Oh, you can understand this. That's the nature of this subject. So, less or more, optimum, balanced. Next is what? It's anthropology study of whom? About? Who are you? Humans. Can we say anthropology is all about you? You, your family, your life, your ancestors, your belief systems, your relationships. Yes? And a knowledge of your past and present. Yes? Your society around you, everything about you. So, it should be relatively easy for you to understand yourself. It's a kind of what introspection, I call this as. What is introspection? A peek into the self. You look inside yourself. You try to analyze yourself. You try to criticize yourself. You try to judge yourself. You try to understand yourself is called as introspection. Can we say anthropology is like one type of introspection to mankind? And that should be easy. Well, easy is not easy to all. Difficult is not difficult to all. Absoluteness is imaginary. Relativeness is common. Everything is a product of comparison. What may be easy to you may be very difficult to somebody else. What may be very difficult to you may be very easy to another person. Yes. Next, self-study or need mentoring. Aristotle was a mentor to Alexander. The greatest conqueror in the world also had a mentor. We cannot imagine whether the greatest conqueror would have been greater or not without the coach or mentor. It depends who you are, whether you need a mentor's support or not. A mentor can always add some amount of value to your preparation. Indispensable value addition is a contribution through mentorship. Why? People ask, why we need a mentor? We can study by ourselves. There are people who try. Please remember, you must have heard about this difference between hard work and smart work. What is the basic difference here? Okay, using internet is not smart work, damn it, come on. Yeah? If you think you can use internet, do you think others cannot use? Do you think you are the only smartest creature on planet Earth? Sorry. Try something else. What's that? If you learn by your own mistakes, that is hard work. If you learn from others' mistakes, what is so smart in it? It saves time. It saves efforts. It saves resources. Saving time, saving money, and saving other resources is the definition of being smart. It makes your preparation easy. Easy is the advantage of smart. Who else is better experienced and made more mistakes than you? Here? Here. Don't you think I have made more mistakes than you have ever made? Yes or no? It is not by the virtue of age, but by the virtue of experience in civil service exam. You have to understand this. So you can learn from my mistakes and you will not repeat them. You are at a greater advantage. Yes or no? So that you don't have to make same mistakes which I have made. And this is where a mentor adds value to your preparation. Experience is expensive. Don't earn it. Experience comes at a very high cost. Don't try to earn it. You don't need experience in this field. What is the second field where you don't bother about experience? Marriage. Don't ask this question. You understand this? In two places, you don't bother about experience. Number one is civil service exam preparation. Number two, Indians are shy. So shy that population is just 142.8 crores. Shy, full shy people. They will not talk to a person sitting next to you also. Population? Highest in the world. What do you want to prove? Damn it. What is the message to the world? Be shameless. It's okay. At least we can control if we can control population. Do you understand this? Second area where you don't bother about experience is better. Marriage. Number one, civil service exam preparation. Number two, marriage. In all other places, you may need some experience. You get it? Yes. So, you have an answer with due respect to your individual choices. Your life is your choice. Do you understand this? Let it be. Same. Quick completion or time consuming. Please understand that we require approximately 100 sessions. Or you can say that 16 weeks of classes. Approximately. This is the time required for us to complete the syllabus in the class. Whether online or offline, it doesn't matter. This is the time I require to complete the syllabus. which includes classroom discussions, case studies, and surprise tests. Yes, handouts and doubt clearing and some weekend exams and all those stuff, including this is the time we have a plan in our mind. And if you can make your own notes out of it, you can complete the revision in a span of 1.5 months. In a span of 3 months, you should be able to complete 2 revisions. I'm talking about the gap between prelims and mains. The next. Do you understand this? Taking that as 100-day gap. 100 days, you must be able to revise twice at least. And give at least 1 full course of test series. I'm looking at your next year's gap between prelims and mains. And speaking. You understand this? You have approximately 100-day gap. Yes? 28th May and September 15th. How many days gap we have? June, July, August. Say 90 and 2 here, 14 there. 16. 16 plus 90, 106. Take 6 out, 100 days. That's it. Every year, UPSC ensures that there will be a minimum of 100-day gap between prelims exam and mains exam. Starting of mains exam, there would be for sure 100-day gap. Minimum. That's what we're talking about. 100 days. You should be able to revise this twice with your own notes. You must have completed the classroom discussions already. So for next year, you are preparing now. Am I clear? Great. That is a decent time here. Yes. Next, static or dynamic. 3/4 of the syllabus of anthropology is static, less subjective. What is subjective? Subjective, subjective. What is this? What do you understand by subjective? Okay, what's happening? How do we go about this? Okay, great. This is a mess we created. Yeah. Objective, subjective. What do you mean by objective here? What is that? Same for all. Subjective? Different? You understand this? Preliminary exam. Same question to all. And you know what? Same answer to all also. And you know what? Answer and question both are given in the question paper. Yes or no? What a joke. And you fail in that, you are a joker. Question is given. Answer is also given. What is this called as? Joker. And you call this as? Preliminary exam. Wow. How funny. Question is visible to you in front of your eyes. Answer is also in front of your eyes. But your eyes cannot see. Yes or no? What a problem. Should we check your eyes? Problem is with your eyes. Problem is with the question paper. Problem is with UPSC. Problem is with your brains. Our orthopedics professor used to give one statement. It's been 1.5 decades, I still remember. What's the statement, you know? Your eyes cannot see what your brain doesn't know. Though it is in front of you. Your eyes cannot see what your brain doesn't know, though it is in front of you. Example? Preliminary exam. Yes. Look at the kind of weirdness and kind of cruel way of testing your brains and vision by UPSC. Yes? You are just a joke to UPSC. You are just a joke. You know, UPSC say, I'll give you a question and answer. Go. Answer. Go. You fail and go back. If you fail in prelims, that's the worst way you can treat yourself. You should never fail in prelims. Because prelims is not an exam, it's a joke. Why? Both are given, damn it. What do you expect? What else do you expect? Then I would consider mains as the only exam you have to crack. Correct me if I am wrong. Why? Only question is given, answer is not given. Yes or no? That's an exam. That's how your exams have been all these years. Yes or no? Damn it, what's so surprising in it? There's nothing surprising in it. So what is the exam you have to crack to get into service? Only mains exam, that's it. Only one exam you have to crack. One exam, one life, one service. Just one exam you have to crack. Remember this. Only one exam. Did you get why? Why only one exam? Got the answer? Yes. Objective means what? Based on its inherent qualities. Whatever it is, we look at it based on its objectivity. For example, look at this. What is this? Table. Table for all people on the planet Earth. Why? Not that it is just a table, because of its inherent quality and purpose. Do you understand this? Such a perspective is called as objectivity or objective perspective. Stone is a stone. Water is water. Sky is sky. Tree is tree. Lemon is lemon. Chilli is chilli. Cow is cow. Cat is cat. Black is black. Red is red. Such a universal perspective is objective. Now comes humans. What is that? Hey, stone is not stone. Iron is not iron. Gold is not gold. Gold is Lakshmi. Paper is not paper. Paper is Saraswati. Water is not water. Water is Ganga. Cow is not cow. Cow is holy cow. Lemon chilli are not just lemon chillis. They are powerful. Night is not night. Day is not day. Time is not good. Time is bad. What, you made your life a mess? What you did? You added something to this. What did you add? You added a differential meaning to it, arriving at or determining a different purpose to it. Are you able to understand this? And this is called as, by multiple names here, this can be called as what? Institutionalization. This can also be called as culture. This can also be called as the concept of belief or religion. Do you understand this? So, this is what is happening. And this differs from one person to another, from one society to another, from one geographical region to another, from one country to another, from one continent to another, from one race to another, from one biological sex or gender to another, from one religion to another, from one caste to another. You understand this? Now, this is what I call as the lens you wear to look at the world. You know, during your childhood, your mom said, if you have a jaundice, world will look yellow. Yes or no? So, jaundice formed a lens through which you saw the world. I would say religion also acts as a lens through which you determine what is right or what is wrong to you. Caste acts as a lens through which you see the world. Language. What language? Ugly language. Your language? Sweet language. What? Excuse me. Don't you think language is acting as a filter? Nationality. Indian, great. Pakistani, cheap. Chinese, duplicate. What? How dare you speak like that? Who says your country is greater than others? Are you competent enough to say this to others? No, you're not. If you think like this, this becomes a source of conflict. If India is great to you, China is great to Chinese, Pakistan is great to Pakistanis, and Bangladesh is great to Bangladeshi. Yes or no? Of course, yes. You cannot judge others based on who you are. Can we say nationality or nationalism is acting as a lens through which you judge or see the world? Of course, yes. Gender. Hey, don't talk like girl. What? Boys don't cry. Excuse me? Hey, don't dress like a boy. Dress like a girl. Don't you think you have all these things? Yes? You're a girl. Behave yourself. Nobody says this to a boy. Welcome to India. Hey, you're a girl. Don't go out in the dark. Don't you think gender is determining how you look at and perceive at the world? Of course, yes. So can we say gender is acting as a lens through which you judge the world? I would say your authority, your money, your civil service rank also becomes a lens through which you see the world. IAS, all others are like insects. If you become an IAS, all others would be visible as insects to you. You're a police officer, all others in the world are wrong to you and are proxy criminals to you. You'll behave like that, yes or no? That's what is happening here. You're a police, khaki becomes the color of your world. If you have jaundice, if yellow is your color of the world, if you're a police, khaki is the color of your world. How's that? Yes or no? See, that's how it is. So, your thoughts would act as a lens through which you look at the world. You see not the world, but what you think it is. Yes? For a Hindu, in cow, a Hindu sees a god. But for a Muslim, they see food in cow. Cow is same. One sees God in cow, one sees food in cow. What's happening? Cow is cow. Yes or no? Now, what's the lens which is differentiating their perspectives here? Religion is the lens. Did you get it? Subjective is adding differential meaning to world. Objective means having similar meaning to the world. Subjectivity varies. That means differential meanings are derived at. Now, did you understand the difference between what is objective, what is subjective? Did you understand this? With suitable examples? Can you write few points about define what is objective, what is subjectivity with suitable examples? Compare and contrast. Can you write few points about them? That's how you learn. Whatever you learn, you should ultimately convert them into, that is exam-oriented preparation. Please understand this. Everything you learn, you should convert them into a dualism, duo, question, answer, duo. What if there is a question on this topic? How would you answer? I you understand this. You are not here to acquire a huge amount of knowledge on the subject. You are not here to become a specialist. For example, if you are studying anthropology, you are not here to become an anthropologist. This is the difference between whatever you have studied till date and what you are going to study from now onwards. In medical college, you are taught so that you will become doctor. In engineering college, you are taught to make you engineers. But here, whatever is taught to you, not to make you one. That's the difference. UPSC wants generalists, not specialists. We have to understand this. IAS is a generalist, not a specialist. Jack of all trades, master of none. Yes, you deploy the IAS officer in any department, they'll do the job. Roads and buildings, engineering, religious affairs, external affairs, foreign affairs, industries, IT, urban, municipal administration, you deploy them in any department, they'll do the job. Even in a district, for medical and health department also, IAS is the head, though IAS is not a doctor. How can this be possible? What can a non-medical person understand about medicine? Look at the superiority of generalists. So your goal is not to become a specialist, but to remain a generalist. By studying optional subject, the goal is not to become one. Observe this, a nuance, a very fine or thin line of differentiation. You have to stop yourself somewhere. You have to study anthropology, not to become an anthropologist, but only for the sake of one exam. That's it. Observe this limit. Yes. So, objective, subjective. Guess these things are clear to you. How do we go back? I'm sorry. Okay. Minimize. Sorry. Okay. Minimize. Great. I don't understand machines. I understand humans, but machines, no, difficult. Where are we? So, time, yes, we did mention about this. Static or dynamic? Yes. 3/4 is static. 1/4 is approximately dynamic. For example, the affairs of backward classes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes. Yes, we have a lot of new schemes and programs. Yes, we have to update them. You understand this? Religious affairs, for example, communalism. We have some updates. You understand this? And then biotechnology, recombinant DNA technology, genetics. We have 2 updates. What is that one? Paleogenomics. You know Svante Pääbo? What are we talking about? Current affairs. 2022 Nobel for Medicine and Physiology was given to Svante Pääbo. For what purpose? Paleogenomics. Paleogenomics is very much part of biological anthropology or physical anthropology, part of our syllabus. Nobel is important for your general contemporary developments also. Understand this? So, paleogenomics is one contemporary development. And second update is what? You must have heard about something called as vertical gene transfer from parents to offsprings. You have the genes you inherited from your parents. But there is a phenomenon called as horizontal gene transfer. You can acquire some genes from organisms which live next to you. For example, cancer, for example, viral infections, horizontal gene transfer. So this is what? A contemporary development. Are you understand this? Some areas of the syllabus are dynamic, but majority areas of the syllabus are not dynamic. They're static. So that is what we are saying here. A kind of fine balance between 3/4 of static syllabus, 1/4 of dynamism is the nature of anthropology here. Yes. Next, we'll be talking about what? Interesting or boring? It depends who you are, whether you are interesting to you or not. Well, are you interesting to yourself? Hence you're breathing. Hence you're here. Hence you're trying to live. Yes. Next is what? Success rate is lower. Definitely. Definitely. Without any second thought. Next, useful for GS or not? Approximately 30% of overlap lies with general studies. This happens when you go through the syllabus in detail. Yes. Scoring or not? Definitely yes. Because consistently for the past 7-8 years, the scores of candidates have been in excess of 300 marks out of 500. 300 mark barrier out of 500 in optional subject is called as golden barrier. Why golden barrier? Anyone who crosses this golden barrier would find a place in interview list. You understand this? Anything above 300 will guarantee your position in the interview list. Rarely people, in spite of scoring more than 300, would fail to reach interview stage. Rarely. That means most often candidates who score more than 300 in the optional paper would reach interview. You can ask me, what about GS marks, sir? Won't they count? Of course, they always count. 1050 marks for GS. What do you think? You understand this? So, optional will take you to interview process. Please understand this. Yes. So, this is the basic element concerned with the choice. What are the factors you have to consider before making a choice of optional, and why or for what reasons you can choose one particular option like anthropology? Yes. And of course, if you want to convert this into numbers, static 80%, approximately dynamic 20%, overlap with GS, please do anything more than 25% is commendable. Any optional having more than 25% of its syllabus overlap with GS is commendable. You can without any tension, you can select that optional here. 30% of overlap with the general studies here, and repetitivity of questions is 40%. You have to have a look at syllabus and previous year questions to understand this, that many terms, many words, many concepts have been repeated either directly or indirectly. 40% of repetitivity, because 80% is static. From where they will get new things? They cannot get any new things here, and they have to repeat. And you have a great advantage to score more, because if you are thorough with previous year questions, 40% of the marks are already in your hand. 40% of 500 is 200. Damn it, 200 you can score just by reading previous year questions. And you have to score only 100 more. You will understand this. Look at that. Any test series will give you 100 mark edge. So 300 you reach. 300 you reach. You are decent. You go to the interview. That's your goal, isn't it? Yes or no? That's the only goal you should have. Yes. So, what do we do to add value to your preparation? What do we do here in general? What do we do here? A clear description. Please understand that. We focus on basic concepts, we focus on applications, and we focus on seamless integration with contemporary developments. That is our approach. First step is fundamental concepts. Second step is amalgamating them with applications. Third step is integrating them with contemporary developments. So, three-pronged approach. So, clear description, complete syllabus within the 100 sessions or 16 weeks time. 16 weeks. Approximately like 4 months or so. Approximately. Maybe 1 week plus or minus would happen, which is not under our control directly. Yes. So concept building strong or fundamental because static nature of the syllabus is more, we have to be thorough in fundamental concepts. Yes. Next, contemporary developments interlinking. Often it is required for 1/4 of the questions. Yes. Next is, we give you all reports of committees, recommendations, commissions, and Government of India's programs, schemes. Yes. And in the class we use a lot of slides, PPTs, PDFs, videos. Yes. Pictures. All those things and handouts will be given to you directly after the completion of the chapter here. Next, of course, if you are willing, we can talk to you. You can also talk to us if you are willing. If you are not willing, we'll give you surprise tests. And on each day, we'll call one of you and ask you to present, to talk on a topic which has been already completed. If you don't talk. Hope you understand. Yes. To keep these sessions lively and interactive. Understand this? Live may not be necessary, lively is. Yes. Next, real-time case studies. What is real-time case study? Recent past. Real, not hypothetical, not theoretical, not imaginary case studies, but real. Yes. Next is what? Notes making. I would insist each one of you would start making note right from day one. Your own notes, in your own words. Ultimately, your personal notes becomes the best source for you to revise quickly by the end of your discussions. Your own notes. And then regular answer writing. Regular tests, I believe that the more you write, better you get equipped or prepared for the mains. Mains exam is all about what? Writing. What you write is what matters. Writing is a skill. The more you write, better you become at. You cannot become a good writer overnight. Sorry. So right from day one, you should start practicing writing. Writing is not writing fast. Many people have this assumption that writing practice means you will become very fast writer. No. Speed compromises accuracy. Speed compromises accuracy. Writing practice is not writing fast. No, it is not. Then what is writing practice? Writing practice is ability to choose words which have more impact. Though you write less, you convey more. Vocabulary. Appropriate terminology. Time is the biggest constraint you have to deal with in the examination. Within available time, to express more, you have two choices. Either write more or choose words, write less, but express or convey more. What is the best way to manage time without compromising on accuracy? Focus on quality rather than quantity. In university exams, you believed in quantity. You wrote many pages and bulk of the pages would determine number of marks. But here opposite. Quality trumps quantity. Though you write less, if you can convey or express more, you can score more. Writing less should be easy for you in limited time frame, isn't it? You will not compromise on quality and accuracy. That is what is writing practice. Not writing fast. But choosing words cautiously, using sophisticated and appropriate subject-specific vocabulary and using them at right place and right time so that you will express more and your answer will have more meaning. Less words, more meaning. And the goal is express to impress. Impress whom? Examiner, evaluator. Write less, express more. Express to impress. That's the goal of writing practice here. Yes. So, and then comprehensive entire syllabus. Test series will cover entire syllabus here. Next is what? Personalized. If you have any queries, you can directly come and talk to us and get them resolved. We'll be available here all the time. So this is our strategy. And now if you have any questions, shoot. This is the time. What is that here? Sorry. Yeah. Ask me a question, please. Question, please. Yes. Questions? Doubts? Do you have anything? Want to ask me something? This is the time. Yes. Questions, please. Yes. See, horizontal gene transfer is, for example, you have something called as a host organism. Host organism. And host has got something called as what? Its own genome. Genome means all genes in the single organism, in a cell. Whenever another organism with an alien genome, alien means what? Which is not your own. Alien genome enters the body of host and alters the host genome, resulting in some conditions. The condition can be a mutation, the condition can be a disease, condition can be an altered protein synthesis, it can be anything. This phenomena within the framework of same generation of organisms. Same generation means what? Contemporary. Same time frame is called as the basic concept of horizontal gene transfer. Example can be retroviral infections. For example, human immunodeficiency virus infection or certain types of cancers. For example, if you are exposed to ionizing radiation like X-rays, you develop cancer. So, your genome got modified by yourself within your lifetime because of environmental factors. That is also horizontal gene transfer. There are certain kind of bacteria which cause cancers called as oncogenic bacteria. For example, Helicobacter pylori, Campylobacter jejuni are some bacteria which cause cancers. So, what is happening here? Bacteria are changing your genome. So, that infection is horizontal gene transfer. Cancers are examples of horizontal gene transfer. Human papillomavirus, Epstein-Barr virus causes cancer cervix of uterus in women. Oncogenic viruses also are examples of horizontal gene transfer. So, what is it? How it happens? Examples. Clear? Yes. Next question, please. Yes? Yes. We study about horizontal gene transfer as one applied aspect to genetics. Now, normally we study inheritance patterns, Mendelian inheritance, non-Mendelian inheritance, extra-Mendelian inheritance are part of our syllabus. On top of it, we would study vertical and horizontal gene transfers as value addition. We would study about them. Yes, please. Questions, please. Yeah. Okay, that is memorizing is universal. How do you remember numbers? Memorizing? Yes or no? Numbers? Yes? Calculations, board mass. How do you remember? Do you think there is analysis to numbers? There is any logic behind numbers? Just memorize. Phone number. How do you remember your friends or mom's or dad's phone number? Memorizing. There is no other way. Likewise, memorizing universal, remember few things. For example, static or factual information. Factual, static, which doesn't change over a period of time. You have to memorize them to a certain extent. Only certain topics. Certain topics need memorizing. There is nothing wrong in it. We have to understand this. And it is one of the most effective ways of remembering things for a long period of time. But memorizing is not the only method you follow here. You follow analysis, you follow logic, you follow reason, you follow writing practice, you draw diagrams, you draw pictures, and you remember. And then you reproduce them in the exam. And you write mock tests and you become better at it. Memorizing is common to all subjects. All optional subjects involve memorizing. There is no optional without memorizing. And memorizing is not limited only to anthropology and is present in all optionals. All. For example, go for language, literature. Everything is memorizing by heart. Poems, poetry, prose, and the poets, their name, their time frame. History. What is history? Yes, please. Everything is memorizing. History is everything about memorizing. And you study polity. Okay. Polity. What do you do in polity? By heart. There is no other way you can remember polity. By heart or not. Entire subject is based on memorizing. It is only few. And every subject you have to remember them based on memorizing or by heart. It is part of every subject. Mugging up is common to all subjects, as we mentioned now. Mugging up, for example, sociology. Sociology have thinkers, Western thought. Everything is mugging up. PSIR, Western political thought. Everything is mugging up. Psychology, philosophy, everything is mugging up. Polity, geography, history, mugging up. Where there is no mugging up, every subject involves mugging up. Literature, entire 100% is mugging up. Literature, 100%. You name a subject where there is no need of mugging up. There is no such subject. When it is universal, then what is the special to anthropology? I don't understand. It is natural, inherent, and universal to all subjects. It is one method of learning and is one method of remembering. And numbers, statistics, everything is about mugging up. Yes? How do you think you learned all those things? Whatever you have learned all these days. Whatever you have learned, mugging up or not? Of course, yes. Now, I don't know. How else do you see this? And whoever said this, probably they were not competent enough to speak about anthropology. They have zero idea about anthropology. No, there is nothing wrong in it. Sorry, that's how you have learned all these days, all these years. And that's how you do even in general studies. And what's so wrong and inappropriate about it?
Saying that they are not even capable to memorize the fact.
That's over. Then we should not worry about their words or statements. Yes? Okay, so yes, please. Question, next question. Okay, second is done. First is done. Next. Well, that's a great question here. Please understand that, as we said earlier, that there is one important element associated with administration or governance called as neutrality. An administrator or a bureaucrat or a civil servant need to be neutral in many perspectives. Politically neutral, religiously neutral, caste-wise neutral, gender neutral, region neutral, language neutral. So, in many aspects, a civil servant is supposed to be neutral. For a person to develop a neutral perspective, that person must have a very relativistic perspective. in anthropology, we have a subject or we have a concept called as cultural relativism. That all cultures are appropriate in their own regions, in their own domains, and for their own people in their own societies. Cultures should not be compared, and they are beyond comparison. There is nothing called as a bad culture or good culture. There is nothing called as a superior culture or inferior or subordinate culture. When we say culture, it applies to religion, it applies to caste, it applies to language, it applies to skin color or race, it applies to region, it applies to nationality. So once we develop this neutral perspective without giving undue importance or without considering some things as superior to other and some things as subordinate to other, you develop a neutral perspective. With a neutral perspective, you work as a better administrator, and this makes you a better and more suitable candidate to service, and you can portray this in the interview process, number one. Number two, through the lens of anthropology, when you learn anthropology, you can relate past and present in a better way, in a more scientific way. You can understand happenings around the world, why they are happening. What is the reason for their happening? For example, look at left-wing extremism in India. What is necessary here is a perspective, an anthropological perspective. Naxalism or Maoism, how do you see this as? Law and order problem? Is it an inborn indigenous terrorism? Is it anti-state? Is it anti-human? It is an anti-social move? Or is it a political ideology which got criminalized, which got completely extreme, extremist oriented? Or is it a problem with the perspectives of few groups of people? You can understand this. So how do we see this as? Is this a social problem, cultural problem, economic problem, education problem, or political problem? How do we see this as? There are multiple dimensions to it, multiple perspectives to it. And I say that anthropologists would be the best negotiators with such people who are extremists or Maoists or Naxals in India. Or take the case of tribals who are shy to contact non-tribals or the foreigners or people from other parts of the same country. For example, Sentinelese in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They don't welcome others on their island. They will shoot arrows, they will attack, they will try to kill. What is the problem? Sentinelese, Andaman Nicobar Islands. Yes? So what is the problem of those people? How do we see this problem as? Those are also Indians because they live on Andaman Nicobar Islands and it is claimed by India. Andaman Nicobar Islands are India. They are also Indians. Then why they behave likewise? And how, as fellow Indians, should we respond to such a scenario? How can you explain this? Only through the lens of anthropology. Only anthropologists can contact them in a better way, not getting killed. You cannot send IAS or IPS there. You cannot send politicians there. They will not come back. You can send, but they will not come back. But anthropologists can come back alive. Where lies the difference? Perspective. How do you see? Without judging them. Neutral. You understand? So, anthropology helps you develop such a kind of attitude. Non-judgmental attitude. Neutral attitude. Yes. On top of it, anthropology syllabus involves various domains like biological anthropology. You'll be proficient in biological or genetics related things. And then you have social and cultural aspects. And you have Indian society, caste and religion related aspects here. Prehistoric aspects, archaeological aspects, primatology. And then you'll have proficiency in tribal studies also. Along with Government of India's stand on various marginalized and downtrodden, depressed classes in India and welfare mechanism towards their upliftment. So you'll have overall comprehensive idea about various sections of Indian society and what fellow humans are doing and what governments are doing to uplift them and solve their problems. You'll have overall 360-degree holistic idea about Indian society. This helps you give better answers in your interview process. Not only interview, even when you go to debates outside, you can talk better based on the knowledge of anthropology. That is the reason why even in general essay also you have questions related to anthropology. For example, 2019, 20, 21 also had questions in the general essay. You understand this? Questions were like what? Questions were like the, I'll give you one question in 2020 general essay question we had. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. This was for 125 marks. General essay question. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. That was general essay question, which is completely a question based on anthropology. And 2021 general essay question I'll give you for 125 marks. What is that here? Life is a journey between human being and being humane. Many people thought that it is a question of philosophy. Damn it, it's a question of anthropology. Human being is biological. Being humane is developing all those qualities which a human being alone can have, no other animal can have. That means animal, human, we all are animals first. But slightly different animals. Dressed up animals, talking animals, smartphone operating animals, UPSC exam writing animals. Yes or no? Don't you think we are animals first? With a different behavior? Are we not animals? You should go back to school again and study biology. Animal. What is an animal? You know, R.H. Whittaker 5 kingdom classification. Monera, Protista, kingdom fungi, plantae, animalia. 5 kingdom classification of all living organisms on the planet Earth except viruses. R.H. Whittaker 1962. Did you study this in school? Don't ask me which school. Yes? Monera. Prokaryotes, bacteria, archaea, unicellular prokaryotes. Next is Protista or Protoctista, protozoa. Next, third kingdom is what? Fungi, mushroom. Yes? Molds, all those things. Fungi. Third kingdom is kingdom fungi. Fourth kingdom is kingdom plantae. All plants, photosynthetic, non-photosynthetic. Plantae. Fifth kingdom is kingdom animalia, which includes all animals which are eukaryotic and multicellular, including humans. That shows you are an animal first, whatever you are trying to be next. Now, are we animals? Who said no? Are we animals? You are not animal.
I'm not an evolutionist.
You don't have to be an evolutionist. You have to be a realist. You can be anti-evolutionist or evolutionarily neutral. You can believe in creationist hypothesis. You can believe in whatever you want, but reality remains same. Your belief is perception. Perception is based on what? Subjectivity. What we are talking about is objectivity, which is universal and neutral and same fact, which doesn't change based on your perceptions or individual beliefs. A fact is a fact. Science is science. We're talking about objective reality of the world. Your individual perceptions may change based on your whatever school of thought you follow. That is limited to you and may be right only according to you and your group. But objectivity cannot change, doesn't change, which is same for all people on the planet Earth, which holds good about each and every aspect about humans in the past as well as present, which has got evidences, and evidences are supported by archaeology, paleontology, which are universally objective in nature, which hold true to all possible institutional evaluations. Will you understand this? So, this objective reality that humans are animals first, and humans have animal characteristics, and over a period of time, we have acquired, we modified ourselves to live better Do you think 500,000 years ago we lived like this? Yes or no? No, that's it. There lies your answer that we changed. Why? To survive better. The goal is to survive. From stone-made tool to Apple iPhone operating you. Do you think things have changed? We call this change as what? As what? Cultural evolution. Don't you think 5,000 years ago our ancestors used to use stone tools? Now you are using plastic metal tools. What do you call this as? 5,000 years ago we had no religion, please? No religion at all. But we had culture. We had tools. Now also we have culture, we have tools. The change is called as evolution. That's it. There lies the discussion. It is beyond your beliefs, beyond your individual perceptions. Whether you accept it or not, this is a fact which is objective and accepted by all institutions across the globe without any debate. Simple element. Look at our ancestors 5,000 years ago and look at you now. Don't you think there is a change? How do you describe this change? We call this change as what? Evolution. Cultural evolution. That forms the crux of socio-cultural anthropology. That is the fundamental basis to understand why humans are the way they are now and how they were in the past and how do we establish a connect between past and present across the globe. This is the focus area in anthropology. The central dogma of anthropology lies in a word called as hominization. What is hominization? The general essay question we had, human being to being human. In anthropology, we have central dogma called as what? Hominization. From so-called biological human to culturally superior, civilized. What? Okay. What's happening? Yes. Culturally superior, civilized, modern, human. Biological human means what? Human being. Civilized, culturally superior, modern means what? General essay question. Did you see that? Life is a journey between human being and human. 125 marks. General essay is completely anthropology question. General essay. There can't be a better example than how much of overlap is there present between anthropology and general studies. You understand this? That's how it is. These are just glimpses. That's how it is. So we can have multiplicity of such examples across the various question papers. Yes. That's why I said your first job is to look into syllabus copy and previous year questions. Not only about optional anthropology, but also general studies question papers. And establish a connect where anthropology overlaps with GS and where GS finds its place in anthropology. That's your job. Irrespective of your optional subject, you can do this exercise and write them down on your book, or on the paper in the book. And that's how you evaluate which optional is better for you. And the same may not hold good for the person sitting next to you. You are a different person. You have a different brain, different school of thought, different perceptions, different needs, and different understanding about life from the person sitting next to you. You understand this? So don't worry if the person sitting next to you doesn't agree with your school of thought. It's okay. A different person, different perception. There is nothing wrong in being different. In fact, that's the very essence of being human. Variation is the characteristic feature of life form. And we prove it by genetics. That is, we have something called in genetics, establishing biological uniqueness of different creatures. We go for what? The genome imprinting or genetic imprinting or DNA fingerprint. DNA doesn't have fingers, don't worry about it. Yes? So, variable number of tandem repeats and short tandem repeats, which are unique to each and every individual, and no two persons have same VNT or STR pattern, which proves that you are inherently genetically unique and there is no other person like you in the world except in the case of an identical or monozygotic twin. This is an evidence that you have a genetic path you followed across time and space. You were not created, you were not born, you evolved. Because you resemble other forms which became extinct and which lived in the past, and with your parents, you establish a connect. You understand this? This is the essence of biological anthropology, to prove that you are biologically unique and there is no person like you on the planet Earth. Your grandma's story, hey, there are 7 people like you on the earth, don't go outside, was wrong. She did not go to school properly. Next time, send her to a better school. Okay? Yeah. You understand this? We have evidences. Hence, we call this anthropology as scientific humanity, or anthropology as science of humanity. Or we can say that we can use multiple words. It's just a matter of vocabulary here. Okay, where do we have? So, as you can see that here. So, as you can see, science of humanities. That's how we define anthropology as. I guess this much is enough for you on day 1 to understand, evaluate, and choose or select whatever you are going through. Hope this session was informative enough, and hope this session would help you take informed and better decisions in your life. If you have any queries, do come to us and give your feedback, and if you want any help, we're always here to assist you. And we would start regular sessions very soon, and if you are interested, you can always join and be part of this journey of anthropology discussions towards the exam. Thanks for your time and patience. See you soon.